the heart of Sharjah.
Pulse 95.
Keeping it local, all day, every day.
It's Pulse 95. Yalla home live through till 8 o'clock. And it's 5:20, and we have the most amazing guests in the studio. And because of that, we're actually going to start early with our guests. Because, if I'm being honest, it's literally too much for Big Hass and our guest. Yeah. And they've already started singing and rapping and doing all kinds of stuff. So, let the children play. That's
100%. I mean, I want to shout out Dr. Andrew Lee for always giving us, these incredible guests. But we're talking about, an actor, a singer based in London. He plays the roles of Hercules and James Madison. Is that right?
That's right.
Yeah.
He's been
at the West End production of Hamilton. Overall, I just met the brother for like 10 minutes now, and I can feel there's a certain vibe. Maybe it is hip hop, maybe it is, I don't know what it is. But ladies and gentlemen, let's put our hands together for Tarinn Callender. Make some noise.
What's up?
In the studio. It's so good. The list of credits that go alongside you, alongside that beautiful deep voice, are unbelievable. So obviously Hamilton is the lead. Everyone is scratching for tickets. As soon as you walked into the studio, Aisha went, I wanted to see it and I couldn't get tickets, and she was all over you, and that happened to me last summer actually. I was trying to get tickets as well. But you've also got Kiss Me Kate, you've got Come From Away, and you now, are you going to play the lead, or you have played the lead?
I have played the lead.
Hackney Empire. You were Dick Whittington.
Yeah.
You see, this blows me away. This is the Brit in me is going, no way.
Yeah, that's dope.
He played that is amazing. Yeah. It's literally
the only thing I want to see it. Like, I want to see it live, and I haven't had the pleasure. But just before all that, man.
Right.
The Tarinn. Yeah. How did you get into all of that? Like, what was the spark?
Right. So it's crazy because initially I only wanted to play ball. I was I played basketball like from a very, very young age.
Oh, no celebration going on.
About 1-on-1.
Yeah.
Yo, let's not trash talk right here.
Yo, don't let me stretch. But I was I originally wanted to play basketball. And then I always sang. I sang in like the choir and stuff. And that my friends always said, hey, you should be a singer when you grow up. I was like, nah, I kind of want to play ball, right? And I didn't really know much about the musical theatre scene. I didn't know if there was much of a career. I'd seen theatre, but I didn't know it was something that I could personally do.
What was the spark? How did this whole thing start?
Well, there was like two major sparks, right? There was one when I was young, but didn't really spark until I was much older. I was like, I went to see The Lion King.
Oh,
in the
wow.
West End, right? I went to see The Lion King. I said, hey, look at that guy. Yo!
Yeah.
You that quick with
It's destiny, my brother.
Oh, you that quick. I'll test you. So I went to see that show.
Okay.
When I was like, I don't even know, 7, 8.
Yeah, and that first scene where all the animals flood onto the stage.
You're literally taken aback.
Yeah.
You go, what is this situation about to happen, right? And then I saw the guy who played Simba at the time sing a song called Endless Night. And I had a moment where I was like, I want to do that one day.
Right.
I'd seen theatre before, but I hadn't seen someone who looked like me do it. So that was that moment. I was like, ooh, right. I could do that.
I kind of want to talk a lot about that because representation, and I think that's very, very important.
Exactly.
What year was that?
Whoa, that's going back. That's probably like 2003, probably 2003.
And you still haven't seen you represented.
Right. And I was like, whoa, like I could do that because he's doing it and he's doing it well. So that happened, and I moved on, and I did like some Saturday schools where I went to performing arts school and stuff like that.
Right.
But still, I still want to play basketball and do that kind of stuff. And then I had a moment in my last year of high school.
Right.
To figure out how to say that, that would make sense.
High school.
You can
Because
say
I was like
secondary
school, and I was like, oh, does that,
No, you can say it.
So secondary school here, my last year, and my music teacher said to me, hey, you should go to a place called the Brit School, which is based in London, Croydon, which is just like a home of the arts. I'm talking about fashion, art,
design,
tech, design.
Adele came from
and Jessie J.
Yeah.
And it's just a place, it's a hub of just art, and everyone there is like on your vibe, and then you go, whoa, what is this?
Sometimes that's all you need.
Right.
That energy to it,
You need to know that you're not the only one. Right? Like, am I the only one that feels like this? Am I the only person that wakes up in the morning that goes, there's something that like spurs me on? Amazing. And you're in an environment where a lot of people not only are incredible and inspiring, but also go, no, you can do better. And then in my last year of that year, I heard of a place called Arts Ed. I didn't know much about further education in musical theatre.
Right.
That's one thing I didn't know. I didn't know if that was, you can get a degree from that. I didn't know if you get a qualification.
This is so amazing. You didn't know that there were these steps.
I had
You
no
literally.
idea. Right?
Wow,
no
wow.
idea that these things were a thing. They were viable.
Right.
And then all of a sudden they were there, and I had to take the opportunity.
Yeah.
So I took every opportunity I got. I applied for this place called Arts Ed in Chiswick, London.
That's right.
And I got in, and I did 3 years there. And after my third year, started auditioned for many different musicals, Kiss Me Kate being one of them, which was the first thing before I graduated.
Right.
So I did that. And then went into had a month off, and then Hamilton. And then did that Hamilton for 2 years.
Wait 1 second.
Yeah.
And then Hamilton.
And then you get Hamilton.
Yo.
It's like, yeah.
I mean, this is kind of historic for us over here, in at least in the Arab region.
Okay.
For me personally, as a hip hop, fanatic, I believe that hip hop is a voice, and hip hop is a culture. So for me, when Hamilton kind of came up, it kind of shook the world. But how did that happen?
So that was crazy, because initially when it was announced that I was coming to London, I said, I'm going to miss it. Only because it started, if I paint a picture, it started when I was in second year. They said it was auditioning in February, and I was in the second year. Ooh. And I said, I'm going to miss it, because I still have one more year to go. So I was in my third year doing my third year shows, and they said, we would like you to come into audition for Hamilton. And I said, you guys are still auditioning? In November.
But you were invited into audition.
Yeah, like a few people.
Let's just spend a moment on that. Okay. So it's not you banging on the theatre saying, let me in.
No.
They invited you in.
They invited me, with a lot of other people as well from my year.
Even so, you got the invite. And can I just step in? So Dr. Andrew Lee, obviously you've brought Arts Ed International here to the UAE, which is why we're lucky enough to have gorgeous Tarinn here. So did Arts Ed instigate that and bring the Hamilton people to the school for them to see the students?
So at the end of year shows, we invite so many casting directors in from all over.
Right.
And I remember going in to see a end of year production of Priscilla, Queen of the Desert.
Amazing.
And it kind of felt like everybody on stage was looking at me. And I said to Chris afterwards, the principal, I felt like a really intimate production. He said, it's because you look like a Dutch casting director called Jorg. I think you're going to give him work.
They did the whole show to you.
Exactly.
Amazing.
Straight at me.
Yeah.
So the casting directors come in to see the end of year show and send some invitations out.
Right.
Tarinn was invited. Tell us,
Incredible.
what was the process for getting auditions for Hamilton?
Tune.
Busta Rhymes just released an album. It's amazing, but
the audition process was very crazy for Hamilton, because initially I was only in for the covers. Now I suspect that was because of my age. I was only 20 at the time.
Right.
And Hamilton is huge, right? That's a massive responsibility for anyone to step into those shoes, especially with the original Broadway cast doing such an incredible job at it. So initially I was only in for the covers, and I did about, I think, 3 rounds doing that, and that was cool. I auditioned for Hercules Mulligan, who I eventually played, and a character called Lafayette Jefferson, right? Who played Marquis de Lafayette / Jefferson. And I auditioned for both of those parts, and then they got me in for a principal part, and I said the principal part. So the principal part means the lead part.
Yeah.
And I said, for who? And they said, for Hercules Mulligan. Now, I always wanted to play Hercules Mulligan.
Right.
Funny story is that I remember when I saw the Tony the performance of Yorktown. They've got a performance on the Tonys. And I said, Mum, come in. And Hercules Mulligan does that rap. I don't know if you're familiar with it. He comes in, he does this rap, and he bursts out of a huddle. And I said, Mum, that's what I want to do.
Right.
Can you give us a touch of that?
Right there.
You want a touch? We got time for a touch of
we're
that?
going to do that.
Yeah.
Do it.
Yeah, right now?
Yeah, please, man.
All right. This way, and I'll dub it out. All right. A tailor spying on the British government. I take the measurements, information, and then I smuggle him to my brother's revolutionary covenant. I'm running with the Sons of Liberty, and I am loving it. See, that's what happens when you up against the ruffians. We in this now. Somebody gotta shovel it. Hercules Mulligan. I need no introduction. When you knock me down, I get to back up again.
Wow.
Right, something like that.
There it is. Good guests, huh?
Yeah,
Good
amazing. I think for somebody who again loves hip hop, seeing someone like you over here in this region also pushes and kind of push the idea about that hip hop is not only that thing that we see commercially or whatever it is. It's really the power of the pen, power of the word, power of the performance that you did. I struggle a lot with that here because the mass media is only focusing about certain types of hip hop out there.
Right.
So for me, when you've got people like you saying that and doing it like that with that passion, man. Seriously, much respect, bro.
Thank
like,
you so
seriously,
much.
that was
Hip hop for me was like something that, I don't know, it immersed me, right? It was something that like, it was a coat.
Right.
And like, I was like, oh, that's a nice coat. And I just put it on and it fit just right.
Man,
and it's been
beautifully said right there.
And it's just like constantly been like working on my size. Every time I grow, like it just grows with me, right? And that somehow that coat just gets better and better and better the way it looks, right?
We are with Tarinn Callender. We're going to be right back. We're definitely going to talk hip-hop and more. But if you have any questions, 4215, Etisalat and do text us. And you can also watch us on YouTube. The whole thing is live. Just go to Pulse 95. We're going to be right back after this headlines.
Yellow Home
With Anna Schofield.
and Big House.
And we're live through till, excuse me, 8 o'clock. Do you know what's nice about having guests in the studio? And I'm just going to say that now. COVID-19, a big stop to humans being in contact with one another. And humans, that's all we want to do. We want to be with each other. The pure definition of hurting a human is to lock them up, which is what we do. When someone does something wrong, we put them in a room on their own and we take away their ability to mix with society. Having guests in the studio, live, next to us, social distance, and some of us have masks on, I can assure you, it's just the loveliest thing in the world. So thank you so much, Dr. Andrew Lee from Arts Ed International, and bringing in Tarinn Callender.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Amazing,
it's just been really, this is the kind of thing I personally like. And I know we're a radio show, and sometimes, you can't express how much fun you're having. But seriously, I'm having so much fun already because, when you meet people, and you were talking about it earlier, when you're in the same space and when you realize there are people other than you that are loving the same thing. Right. Before we talk about schools real quick, I just want to see with you about hip-hop. How important is hip-hop to you in terms of just, the way you live your life? Yeah. It's a way of life. What does hip-hop mean to you?
Hip-hop is like an energy, right? Like, a lot of people, it's hard to explain, but once you feel it, you can't help but if you're not tapping your foot at least or banging your head, like then you're feeling that energy, right? Like, I don't know, like hip-hop for me, as well, it became some sort of a language. I could speak without being like having to speak. Right. For me as well, but in primary school. Now this is in primary school, and I remember being outside waiting for the school gates to open. And what we used to do, I used to be the beatboxer.
Okay.
And all my friends around me would rap. Like, that's what it was. Like, and how old was we? Like 6, 7? And we used to literally make up, like, childish rhymes, my name is Taryn, like, just silly stuff like that, right? But it meant so much to us because not only did we also, like, buzz off the energy of, oh, you said that, you rhymed, like, something with something.
Yeah.
Not only that, it also got us in that mentality of, man, like, this is just bigger than just like writing a few lines and making each other laugh. It's just like the energy that we have when we start, like we add music or we add a beat or we add like a certain cipher to something. Yeah. It just changes the way the day starts. And just to think back on it now, that's how our day was starting with that kind of energy.
100%.
Beatboxing and my friends around me making up just silly raps. And of course, as we got older, the more hip hop we listened to and the more rap we listened to, we got better. And then things got better, right? That's how it goes.
And now you've made that your lifestyle. You literally have not left that moment that you loved. Absolutely, you've created a career in it.
Yeah, and that's the beautiful thing about it as well, because as well with musical theatre, when you go into music theatre, you don't think, yep, and I'm going to rap. Yeah. Like, you just don't think that. And what Hamilton allowed me personally to do was bring something that I love so much and then transcend it onto stage. And that's why Hamilton meant so much to me personally as well, because I never thought I would get the chance to do what I love to do in more aspects than one.
And what's quite interesting, so Hamilton is a mix, because you sing as well as you rap. Yeah. I mean, you got it all going on. They would call you a triple threat because you can sing, you can act, you can dance. You are the triple threat. You can't say it about yourself, but we can say it about you, Taryn. So it's absolutely fine. But that's what they call it in the industry. You can actually walk on stage and it's, what do you want me to do? I can do it all. But interesting, you were talking about obviously those school days where you were doing that. Did you ever get picked on for singing and dancing and...
And I mean, I think when I first started, talking about I went to Saturday School Performing Arts, it was always a thing of, oh, really? Like, only like, I guess, certain people do that. And, we'll leave that there. And it was almost like, oh, man, I had to prove myself. Saying. Yeah, I had to prove myself to be more masculine all of a sudden because I did performing arts, because I sang and because I danced and because I do this other thing.
Right.
And for a while, it was almost like, oh man, I've really got to like prove that I'm still kind of cool and I still have masculine energy, but at the same time, I don't also want to like put the love for performing in a box and somewhat
100%.
dismiss it. And I guess that's the thing with growing up. When we discover things about ourselves that not everyone else does, we don't want to be the first person in the class to be like, hey, I do that, and that's different from everyone else.
No.
We all kind of want to do the same thing. And you know, that's why going to the Brit School was so huge for me as well, because then I was in a space where I could be like, yes, I do musical theatre. You know, like it was huge. Like, and you're
Stand up.
Yeah, and once I started owning that a lot more, my friends were the biggest supporters.
Yeah.
But it took me, like, that was my own journey as well that I needed to go on as well.
Okay.
Because also as well, I didn't know that I loved it as much as I did until I stood up and said, no, this is what I do and this is what I love doing. And once I, you know, accepted that and started shouting it from the rooftop, my peers were actually the people to say, yeah, you can make it out of the hood, like you can do this.
Yeah.
And they were actually my biggest supporters, and they still are to this day.
Taryn, where are you from?
I'm from an area called Tottenham in London, North
know
London.
it. Okay.
Yeah.
He's north, I'm south.
North
You
London.
can hear it. You can hear it. Yeah.
So
Okay.
North London at the time as well was like, you know, that was the peak of postcode wars. It wasn't like, you know, a great place to live in. You know, a lot of my friends went down, you know, another route.
Gotcha.
You know, and we're still friends. And we're still friends today. But those paths were so, you know, they were literally drawn out, and you know, you could stand next to a person, and we both go, so what one are you going down? Because it was so easy to choose, you know, which path to go down. It was just in front of us.
And was yours harder? Would you say that choosing your path rather than going, was the other route easier?
Yeah, no.
The street route.
Right, yeah, because you go, oh, everyone's doing that, right? Oh, if you're doing that, I'll do it. And also as well, I don't have to, it seems like I have to work really, really hard if I go down this route.
Yeah.
So you go, can I go down that route? Also, I didn't think I had it in me to go down that route as well. But, you know, you are sometimes influenced by the things around you.
Yeah.
And there was something in me, you know, that said, nah, it's not for you. You got to go down this route. It's harder, but you'll find the way. And I did.
Shout out to your family here,
Yeah.
man. I think it all comes and starts with that, because sadly, see, in the Arab region, we have this thing when it comes to performances or being creative, we're always kind of pushed down a little bit in a way, because like, hey, no, I want you to be a doctor, an engineer, or whatever.
Yeah.
And it's crazy. A lot of people want to let out, and the only thing is that they're worried about us, about the future. Can you make money? Can you live?
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know, for that.
Yeah. Can you feed your family?
Can you feed your family?
Yeah. Can you have
it's
the freedom?
COVID, you know?
Yeah, shout out to my mum, of all people. She
God
was
bless
the
her.
person who literally, you know, would go to my Saturday schools, wait for 3 hours, right, and then pick me up from the Saturday schools, and you know, every Saturday, and that's the weekend, right? But that's still up at like 7, breakfast, the whole shebang, out the door, you know.
Yeah.
So shout out my mum, single parent raising me.
Wow.
Did an incredible
God
job.
bless him.
Yeah.
Do you think she was pleased? Do you think that she was, I mean, there must have been a bit of her where you grew up, and you've talked about it being quite streety.
Yeah.
So can you call it that?
You can call it streety.
Streety, it's streety, you know, and you obviously had the crossroads, you had it all going on around you. You could, so she knows she's bringing up a boy in that environment.
Yeah.
But this one wants to go to tap classes at 8:30 a.m. on a Saturday morning. Right. So do you think she was going, I'm leaning into that, get your coat, we're going?
Do you know what? No, I never, maybe, but I never felt that pressure of, no, please do it. Like, please do performing arts so it can keep you safe.
Right.
I felt it was all, you know, on me a little bit. I kind of was like, no, I saw, she used to suggest things, and I used to go, oh, that looks cool. Like, there was something down the road, a centre called the Bernie Grant Art Centre. And what we could do, we could go there, pay £1 and do a class for like an hour.
Right.
And you know, £1, you know, pretty cool. Like, you know, £1 affordable.
Yeah.
So we used to do that, and it was just down the road. And I used to be like, no, I'm going Bernie Grant's, because when I went there, it was like that safe haven. It was that safe space, not only for myself, but for a lot of people who were also in them crossroads of, oh, I don't know what path I should go down.
Yeah.
People also in those paths, and going, I know I said I'm about that life, but really I kind of like acting.
Yeah.
And here I can feel safe and like take that mask off and just be me.
Amazing.
This is very important.
amazing.
You're dropping jewels right here,
You
man.
got it.
Because, you know, being yourself, you know, fighting for your dreams, this is all incredible. But Dr. Andrew Lee, now, when it comes to Tarinn, how did this whole thing, him coming to the UE, and this is your first time, obviously, in
First
this
time.
part of the world as well, right?
Is it your first time? Lovely.
Yeah. How did this whole come about as well? And again, big up to you for bringing such an incredible.
Yeah,
because
well
again, he is also going to become an ambassador for the UAE and maybe the region as well.
I think so.
In a way, because he can
think
go
so.
back and tell the news outlets that this is not what's happening there. This is not happening. This is happening. There's a blue-eyed Saudi who likes hip hop. There's a lot of things that are cool. So yeah,
That's your message, Taryn. Did you get it? I'll write it down for you.
So we set up Outside International about 2 years ago to work with schools over here to help students kind of develop more confidence and creativity and collaboration. And ever since I started working with Arts Ed, people used to say, "Have you met Taryn yet? Have you heard of Tarinn Callender?
Oh, really?
Have you seen him? He's the one in Hamilton." So I go and watch Hamilton. I see Taryn. I go, "Wow,
blown away.
Wow!" And he's kind of a few years old. You graduated in 15? Is that right?
17.
17. Well, okay. So a bit of a gap. And I kind of got to know lots of the other students, and we were bringing people over in groups to work at schools. And then when COVID hit, we couldn't bring the groups over.
Yeah.
So we thought, how do we make this magic happen? So we kind of identified a couple of the
Key players.
What does that note say?
Yeah.
One of the new generation of theatre stars.
Reading my computer there. Yeah, new generation of theatre stars.
Can I write to Taryn? Can I just do that? So can we text or tweeted something?
Yeah, it was a Twitter. Yeah, it was Twitter.
And do you want to come to Dubai?
Drop me a DM.
You DM'd him.
It was a Twitter.
It was like, yeah.
It was a tweet.
Yeah, it was a tweet.
It was a
Man,
tweet.
Twitter, it was crazy.
I know, right?
I mean, I connected with so many. I mean, Shaquille O'Neal one time tweeted me back.
What?
I'm just crazy. I'm telling you, Twitter is crazy.
No way.
Yeah.
That's great, right?
Taryn, really cool having you in the studio.
Yella Home
With Ella Schofield.
and Big House.
3 minutes past 6. We're live through till 8 o'clock, and it's the day before the weekend, which just makes it brilliant. Add a bit of guest live in the studio, and it's going to be a fantastic show. We're sitting here live with Dr. Andrew Lee from Arts Ed International, who once again has brought in the most amazing guests. We've had some really special guests from Dr. Andrew Lee over the years, but this is a beaut. This is Tarinn Callender, and he's been in Hamilton amongst other things. He is the most incredible musical theatre performer, and he's going to rap and sing for us this hour.
He might also, I'm not sure if we can do that, but we might work on something like that later, right? The bare necessities thing.
Okay.
You want to do not now, but you want to do that?
Yeah, I got you.
Battle between me and you, my brother.
Yeah, okay. You got
Filming this.
You got the lyrics? I don't want to get it wrong.
I'll get you the lyrics.
Yeah.
We're definitely going to get you the lyrics
Yeah.
for sure. But yeah, we're definitely going to be talking to Taryn more. If you have any questions, you guys, 4215, it's Salat and Do. You can also text us and slide in our DMs at any time, Pulse 95 Radio, and watch us as well on YouTube. We're going to be right back with Taryn. Keep it locked.
Yella Home
With Ella Schofield.
and Big House.
7 minutes past 6, we're driving you home across the Emirates. Nice having you with us, and we are a packed studio tonight. If you're just joining us, we're here with Dr. Andrew Lee from Arts Ed International, and he's brought Tarinn Callender in, who is the most incredible musical theatre performer. But not just that, he's Mr. Hip Hop, he's Mr. Rap. So of course, Hass and him in the breaks and during songs are literally just on each other, chatting about hip hop. Taryn, you talked earlier. You were talking about how, as a kid, you grew up in North London. You grew up in an area that had a mix of things going on. You could have taken the wrong road. You kind of chose theatre and performing arts.
Yeah.
And that's wonderful. You're now here in the UAE.
Yes.
And this is why you're here. You're with Arts Ed International. You're going into schools across the UAE, and you're talking to children.
Yeah.
Amazing. Now, how are you finding that?
It's such a unique experience because I'm finding it now. Back home, we take it for granted. Just a little bit.
Interesting.
Because, knowing that the kids here don't get anything like this. They haven't seen anything like it. They hear a West End performer and they go, what? The West End?
Yeah, you're the one.
For me, I go, oh, a West End performer. Comes into school, fine. West End, it's natural.
Right.
But here, it's such a massive, massive thing. And it's so nice and it's so
I appreciate you saying that.
yeah.
I think when you go and perform in schools like that, you also give them power and hope that, it's the same thing when you show that, hey, I'm not represented.
Right.
But and for us, it's like, oh, I can also do it.
That. Right.
So
Yeah.
for us here, It's really important. I mean, the UAE has always been really giving, you know, and there's a lot of amazing big things happening. But having someone like you, it's just still, wow. He's been in Hamilton.
Yeah.
He reached. So I can do it too. And you inspire. And you have such a cool vibe and personality, man. That makes it also easier.
Oh, thank you. It's such a beautiful thing as well, I guess, because, you know, a lot of us back home at the moment, of course, due to the current pandemic, we haven't been able to perform.
No,
So
of
it's
course.
such a lovely and honoring experience to be in a room with people who are willing to work and still willing to learn about the performing arts, and me give some sort of that energy to them,
Yeah.
and also seeing their response and how they internalize and express what I'm saying to them.
Yeah.
It's also really, really lovely for me, and sending that light straight back into me. And it
Wow.
works in that sort of like, I don't know, that continuous 360 circle that just goes round and round and
That's
round.
dope to hear, man.
Right.
Again, it feels to me, you know, I know you have a question, Anna, but I just want to kind of ask you a personal question.
Sure.
And that's a question I kind of struggle with a lot. Is passion a talent?
Oh, yeah. He has a thing about this.
Yeah,
I-
I don't think it is.
Okay.
I don't
So
think it is.
So you're born with it?
Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely. It's not something that you can learn. If I, you know, gave you a textbook on passion, you'd be like, yeah, you ask loads of questions, yeah, but how do I do this? How do I do that?
I love
no,
that.
you can see
Because that's
passion.
how I feel
You
too.
can
Like
feel it.
I mean, I might be passionate about certain things,
Yeah.
but I'm not talented.
No.
But I'm passionate.
Right.
So
Right.
there's a difference.
Absolutely,
you know?
no, you can't. That's that. They're complete. Passion for me is an energy. It's absolutely an energy. It's something that before someone even starts speaking,
Yeah.
you give them a subject matter, and before they even start speaking, you know, they're gonna take it home. They know, you go to certain people to talk about certain things. We
Yeah.
all have those friends that
True.
you go, I need to talk to them about football or
Yeah.
cricket
Yeah.
because I know I don't know that much, but I know if I ask blah blah blah,
Yeah.
They'll know.
they will know, and
Yeah.
they speak about it with such a passion, and they like color this picture in for you about this thing that you just see it as like, you know, black and white, but they paint this beautiful picture that you go, yeah, that's passion.
That's
And
it.
that's why I came to you. But the thing is with passion, it can be held down and it can be reignited.
Yes, absolutely.
So that's how I feel. So if you've got a load of students in a room and they are maybe passionate about performing arts, but
Yeah.
maybe not showing their passion,
Yeah.
someone like you arriving is going to ignite that. That's
Hopefully.
how I would.
And I've
yeah.
been feeling it as well. I've been feeling
Have
it as well.
you?
Like seeing, have exercise when I get everyone in a circle and they get a chance to say a few lines from Hamilton and perform it a little
Oh,
bit.
wow.
And you see the not so confident kids, and I kind of leave them in there because I like the idea of them
Wow.
being comfortable with the idea of being uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When you're on stage and
Learn
like
it
a
that way.
1,000 people are looking at you, it's uncomfortable, especially when you mess up, right?
Yeah,
But
horrible.
once you're comfortable with the idea of like messing up, and that just becomes like something that you're used to.
Have you been through that?
Absolutely.
How'd you handle that?
It's crazy, right? It's kind of like that thing. Something just takes over your body.
Yeah.
And you just do.
You
Right? I don't know
freestyle.
what it is, right? I don't know what it is, but sometimes, somehow you cover it. I don't know how, but it's harder in Hamilton. I'll tell you for why. Only because that's not a continuous metronome, right? That's a beat. As soon as that beat starts, it's not stopping. So say,
Right.
for example, if you go, I tell the spine on the... you can't go back to the top and say, hey...
It's part of the act.
Right, yeah, right.
And then
Wow.
you'll get something like this. What is he trying to do?
Right. Yeah. Right. Yeah. You go to that white room of like, oh my goodness.
Okay.
And then you just have to kind of make things up, especially with Hamilton as well, because obviously there's rhyming couplets. So
Yeah.
say for example, if you throw me a line,
Oh, I got
that I'm meant
questions
to,
down. I've got to put my comments down.
that I'm meant to reply to in a rhyming couplet to finish off
Right.
that sentence,
Okay.
and you don't give me that line somehow. Right,
You've
I
got
have
to
to
get-
rhyme this word. You either rhyme the word or you don't.
So I was
And
about to
then
say, you trip up the whole cast if
You
you
go-
miss a beat.
Yeah.
You go,
Okay.
And you know it so well. The slightest thing, the slightest
Yeah.
intonation that is slightly different, everyone goes, that's different.
There's
Their
prickles.
shoulders.
There's prickles.
Yeah, it's like,
Yeah.
what was that?
You see, that's a really complex
Yeah.
kind of show to
It
put
is,
on.
it
One
is.
person drops a word and everyone's,
gone.
uh-oh,
Yeah.
we've lost it.
And that's the
So
thing
has
about
that
it.
happened? Did that, I mean, has anyone broken it so badly that everyone was just sort of saying words randomly?
Oh man, absolutely. The first thing I work opposite in the second act called Jason Pennicook, who plays Lafayette Jefferson, has had the worst errors. The worst errors.
Oh, really?
And it is so funny.
It's happening here. He's spilling the beans.
Oh yeah. Oh, absolutely. He loves it. We do it all the time. But usually, I'm the person that he's saying it to.
Oh, great. Okay.
So I got to go stand there and go.
I got it.
Yeah. Okay. And somehow, I don't know. There's either a tear coming down my face, but somehow I have to remain composed and get through to the end of this line, right? But we've had many experiences. We're human. It happens, and especially with a fast-paced show like Hamilton, even with like choreography, you just have to pick yourself up and go because we're on this train and it ain't stopping for nobody.
Did that go into the sorry? Did that happen in the rehearsal room? Did the director say to you, right, guys, you missed one line, the whole cast is going down. So let's practice if we mess up.
Do you know what? No,
Come
absolutely
on.
not. Because
Right.
what it was, we created like a safe space. Right, we knew this thing was hard. Like, we didn't want to like pretend that this thing is easy. The reason why it's so great is because it's so detailed and thorough.
Right.
So if you make a mistake, we automatically presented a safe space that if you messed up, it's okay. That moment's passed. Let's move on to the next.
I like that.
But we stay integral to the piece.
Okay.
Tell the story. That's it.
Okay.
I love
you
that.
start the story and you finish the story.
Even if
As
you're
long as
freestyling,
even if you freestyle,
keep to the
you keep telling that story.
I
because that's the main
think
thing.
I don't know. I'm not a performer, but I think what's interesting is sometimes you'd mess up, but the audience wouldn't know.
No, right.
Yeah,
It's just you guys.
And you'll come off stage and maybe be like, oh man, you see a friend and your friend goes, that was amazing. Who's also in performing arts. You go, oh, I messed up that word. And they go, really?
Yeah,
I didn't know
they
that.
don't notice that.
And you go, oh.
Taryn, I got a question from Aisha Mazmi, who you just met
Yeah,
right
sure.
now from the Afternoon Collective. She's asking your favorite song that's not a Hercules or a Madison song.
In the show?
Yeah.
Oh, it has to be Wait For It, that Aaron Burr sings. Oh my goodness.
Okay.
And there's something about it. I guess because we're all on stage at that time, we're all looking down at him as kind of the eyes from the audience.
Right.
We're kind of like your perception from different angles.
Yeah.
And then he's there, spotlight on him, and he just sings this song, and you are transcended into another world. And I
Wow.
loved watching that. I was on the surround, so I was watching it from above, and I just loved watching all the different choices. Because what I love as well is because he was facing the audience and I was behind him. What I love is when a story can be told from the back.
Yeah.
Right? So if I'm not facing you, I love the fact that I can still know and understand and connect with that story, even though I'm not fully connected with you.
I think you're performing right now. It's just
Yeah.
incredible.
Huge passion.
The energy is
Isn't it?
amazing.
Yeah.
But ladies and gentlemen, we are with Tarinn Callender.
Yella Home
With Anna Sophia.
and Big House.
Day before the weekend, Wednesday night, driving you home across all 7 Emirates. And joined in the studio tonight by Dr. Andrew Lee from ArtsEd International here in the UAE for 2 years and bringing amazing talents over to the schools. It's just incredible to see. And today in the studio we have Tarinn Callender. We've been talking a lot about the fact that Tarinn, we've done Tarrinn's story. Tarinn grew up in North London. At all points, and we were just talking about this, all points your story is not together and rehearsed and focused. You weren't the kid that was going, yeah, I'm going to be a star and I'm going to do this and I'm going to... In fact, you were playing basketball and going, oh, I quite like singing and I quite like dancing. And each time you found something else, like, oh, I can study that, can I? Oh, I can do a degree in it. Oh, amazing. I'll keep going.
Right.
And here you are, with 15,000 followers on Instagram, on the West End stage in Hamilton, playing the lead. It's incredible. But in the background, there's hip-hop Tarinn.
Oh, yeah.
And Hass
love
and him
that.
are so funny together. So
I think it's just incredible because, I think we arrived at the same time and I was like, yo, and it's just, I think it's an energy thing. You say it all the time right now. You've been saying it and the vibe is there. For you, who are your, like, I don't believe in this top 10 or top 100 list, but who do you like listening to? I'm interested to know who your favorite rappers.
So recently, only very, very recently, I've been going back.
Okay.
So I
That's good. I like
even
back.
this morning, I had to drop some Lauryn Hill.
Okay.
Right? Like, I had to drop
definitely
some
one
Lauryn
of
Hill.
my favorite MCs, male or female. It don't matter.
Full
It's
stop.
good. Yeah.
Right? So I've been dropping a lot of her recently. I also have to drop in Tupac whilst I'm there.
Tupac.
I told you earlier,
Scoring
I'm currently reading one of his, a book of his, which is basically basically his handwritten poems.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, his handwritten poems.
Yeah, he was a
In his early
philosopher.
days.
Tupac is someone in the streets of Jeddah, Saudi Arabia. You
Yeah.
know, obviously one of the most conservative countries in the world.
Yeah.
You can see murals of Tupac.
No.
And he affected
Wow.
the world. You know, and people don't understand, but I mean, they feel what he was fighting for.
That is so crazy because
Yeah.
it says that. Like, it
Yeah.
says, like, even if you didn't know Tupac, you knew what he stood for,
Oh,
even
yeah.
if you didn't know him.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Cool. So this is Lauryn Hill, Tupac.
Yeah. Only because they're fresh on the brain.
Mm.
Who else would I have to put in there? If I'm going British,
Yeah.
can I drop that?
Yeah,
So
of
if I
course.
would go British, I have to put Stormzy up there.
Of course.
Yeah.
Only because I feel like he really did open the door for grime,
Yeah.
right? And I have to take my hat off to him.
Yeah.
So
Gigs? You like gigs?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Sorry, was that too
It's
loud?
okay.
Was that too loud?
He just
Gigs
blew every
deserves
car
that.
up.
It's okay.
So yeah, I got to shout at Gigs as well. Absolutely. For just putting like grime on the map.
Yeah.
And that's like, you know, now drill has opened that door as well.
Truth.
Which is incredible with Heady One. He's really putting a stamp
Wow.
on it. Heady One is from Tottenham.
Really?
Yeah, Heady One's from Tottenham.
Wow.
Yeah.
He's also incredible. He dropped something with Charlie Slosh.
Yeah.
Are you familiar with Black Thought?
No.
I want you to check him out. So Black Thought is the lead MC of The Roots, which is a band that plays with
Yeah.
Jimmy Fallon, the band.
Right,
Yeah.
right,
And
right,
he's
right.
just
Yeah.
he's just an amazing MC. I think he's one of the most underrated rappers or MCs
Okay.
that he's just mad.
Because he just drops, him and his group, they just drop like rap. They go like, oh, I'll play a little bit of this. And he goes,
yeah.
okay, cool. Boom, 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 boom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's just crazy. So,
Okay.
but yeah, you know, like all the names that you mentioned. For Stormzy, I just want to shout him out because it's amazing what he was able to do. Obviously, making history, becoming the first solo artist.
Yeah.
Is it the first? Was it
Are you
the
talking
fir-
about the pyramid stage at Glastonbury?
At Glastonbury.
Yeah.
The first solo artist to perform.
Yeah. First artist performed Grime, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was that.
Yeah,
I'm
but
trying to remember what the record is,
yeah.
but yeah, he was.
But he
it was
was-
first.
But that's what I think. That's why Stormzy has to be there because
It's
of
just
the things that he does
fantastic, like the way-
outside of music as well. The opportunities that he's done.
Blinded by Your Grace is one of my favorite
Oh my
songs for
gosh,
him.
How beautiful is it? How
Yeah.
beautiful is it?
Yeah.
But all the things that he does outside of music, that's why I have to take my hat off him because that's kind of why we do it, right? A little bit. That's why we do it. We go, okay, especially from places where you don't come from a great background. You want to go, okay, I want to make it to also open
Yeah.
the door out for other people.
I think this is
Yeah.
the core of what you're saying. This is really, really important, and I think it's incredible. Yo, you ready to do a little bit of bare necessities?
Ah, yeah, let me
Oh,
get
this
this.
is
Okay.
just priceless. Right, video on.
So, just a little bit of a history kind of thing. So basically, whenever my guests or our guests kind of come through, I like to flex and I show that to them, and they're like, yeah, that's amazing. But right now, I definitely can't flex. We have a legend in the building. He's mad talented. I don't know how that will be. Maybe I'll do one verse, one bar, one line. But yeah, ladies and gentlemen, we're about to do the bare necessities. Big Haas, Tarinn Callender, and it sounds a little bit something like this. Like though, let's go. Bare necessities, the simple bare necessities. Forget about your worries and your strife. Tarinn, take it away.
I mean the bare necessities, oh Mother Nature's recipes that brings the bare necessities of life.
It's mine. Wherever I wander,
Okay,
wherever I roam,
sing it, ass.
I couldn't be fonder of my big home. Take it, Tarinn.
The bees are buzzing in the tree to make some honey just for me.
Hey.
When you look under the rocks and plants and take a glance at the fancy hats and then maybe try a few.
Maybe just a few. Man, make some noise for Tarinn Callender.
So good.
I haven't sang that song in years. I was like, oh my gosh, I saw the rest of the words. I was like, I don't know if I'm going to get this. Ow.
Oh, man. I felt,
So
I'm going to
funny.
say the word, I felt intimidated. Like, I was like, yo, that guy sounds so good. He's like, it's just, one of the things I try to do is as well, don't take yourself seriously. It's one of the
Never.
biggest mottos.
Yeah.
I just turned 40, and I just think, you just kind of let it go, be a kid,
Exactly.
and it's okay to make fun of yourself sometimes and be, just have fun.
Absolutely. Your life's too short, right? Life is way too short. I think one of these times are definitely just showing us that.
Yeah,
Life's too
yeah.
short. Didn't enjoy it.
You're such a dichotomy, though. So you swing from musical performer, okay? I mean, you've got various other musicals in you. You got Kiss Me Kate in your list, and Dick Whittington, which is such an amazing pantomime at the Hackney Empire. Everybody, the Brits going, oh, and absolutely loving that. And then you swing into Bare Necessities. Then you do Hamilton. Then you name your top 5 best hip hop artists.
But I mean, that's what's beautiful about it. Like it's so cool. I love the fact that you can't box Tarinn in a way. Even if you want to box, I don't like boxing people. Like to put it in the box.
Have you seen the film Fast and Furious Tokyo Drift?
Yeah.
And Lil Bow's in there.
Bow
Wow now, right?
Bow Wow,
Bow Wow's in there, right? And he says there's a line in there. He goes, I don't think outside the box.
Yeah.
I tear it up.
I tear it up.
And I love that line. Ever since he said that line, like, I tried to live by that. Just tear up the box.
That's true. I think you create your own box as well. Tarinn, we're about to play a song. Tell me a little bit about the song that we're about to play, the one that you sent through.
Yeah, sure. This is on Broadway from a musical called The Smokey Joe's Cafe. I did this for a live, just a live performance gig that people could access a little bit of musical theatre from their own homes with the Theatre Cafe.
Right.
So I did this, I think, about a month ago, right?
So it's quite new.
It's quite new.
Yeah,
it's quite new in the Theatre Cafe, and then we ordered the things, so she didn't. So I had to record this audio, and this is just a little thing from there. But the funny thing about this is, I actually did this at the Brit School when I was training years ago at the Brit School, and this was probably in our second year.
Oh wow!
And then we performed this, and then I heard it again. I was like, "You want me to sing this?" It was kind of like that nostalgia effect.
Yeah.
It was like, wow.
It's come back round.
Yeah, it was beautiful. And here I was, instead of like singing it as an ensemble, I was singing it as a solo.
Man.
So it just
let's hear it right now. We're gonna be right back. Finishing our interview with the incredible Tarinn Callender. We're gonna be right back. Let's go. Keep it locked. Pulse 95 Radio.
Yella Home
With Ella Schofield.
and Big House.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that was Tarinn Callender, and I think the way you rocked that, man, that was super, super good, really. So, like, really, really mad and incredible to you, man. Much love.
Oh, thank you.
And
Thank
blessings
you,
to you. Ladies and gentlemen, you can watch us also on YouTube. We're actually approaching the end of, this chat. It's really remarkable and so refreshing to have met you, my brother. Really,
you so much,
seriously, and thank you,
Likewise.
Dr. Andrew Lee, again for making this happen and always facilitating these incredible guests that we will never kind of maybe cross paths.
No, we'd never have access
Only if it was
to
for you, of course.
if it
You're so
wasn't
welcome.
for
It's a
you.
joy to bring the guys in.
It's a
Love
joy
it.
to have him. I've got one last question.
Yes.
You've obviously the pandemic hit and theatres in the West End and Broadway, but let's talk about the West End where you were appearing absolutely crunched to a close and haven't reopened.
I know.
So then it was just a blank space for the last 6 months.
It's been really, really difficult for a lot of performers everywhere, right? That's our kind of like our outlet, our way of
being.
Yeah, being, and also like shedding our joy in light. That's where we have our moment of almost purpose, right?
Yeah.
When we're on that stage, it's like, okay, I'm home,
Right.
And because it's been taken away from this pandemic, but also the sad thing about it is that there's no light at the end of
There's no ending at the moment.
right? It's just like the uncertainty of it is really quite worrying. Of will I ever be able to get that feeling back of being on the stage till its full capacity, right? With everyone there enjoying it, that atmosphere.
I think we're learning to live with it.
Yeah.
Like this is at least from here in the UAE, we're really learning to live with it. This is how the government is kind of also packaging it, if there's a way, or maybe addressing the situation.
Yeah.
I know in some countries, especially in England right now, it's
Gone
tough.
into lockdown
All
again.
Europe, actually,
Yeah.
France. I got friends in France and England, and it's like going
All
on
the same.
complete lockdown.
Yeah.
But here, and Has is completely right. I've watched as a Brit, I've watched how the UK's behaved with it, and now I'm watching everything open here. Everything's open. You can do everything.
Yeah.
You can go to live events.
Absolutely.
They just are working with masks and social distancing.
Yeah, it's really like even when I came off, I was like, wow, like there's a lot more things that you can do here that I wouldn't be able to do at home.
Yeah.
Stay out till 10 p.m. is one of them as well. And I was like, I can stay, like this restaurant doesn't shut at 10 o'clock. Like, that's kind of cool.
That's funny. You go to Saudi, it's like 1 a.m., which is cool.
They don't get up till 10 p.m. in Saudi.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Tarinn, before we let you go, two things, if you can answer. Tell us one thing that not a lot of people know about you. Not everyone knows. Only few people know.
Yeah, I've been ice skating for more than 10 years.
You ice skate?
Ice skate, yeah, right. See, that's
Dude,
the
see, that gives me hope. Like, I mean,
I hope you're doing that while
No one
singing
knows
hip hop, and then sometimes switching into
I would
Kiss
love
Me
to.
Kate.
Yeah, I ice skate. I've been ice skating for about 10 plus years. Yeah.
That is
Wow.
nuts.
How cool was that? Yeah,
That'd be-
it's
that'd
random. It's just one of the random
a
things that I used to do. On
there's an
Saturday.
ice skating arena in the UAE. Definitely go check
there
it out.
is. Yeah, there is.
I had to cool down. Yeah, maybe I just
I'm gonna go check it out.
Yeah.
The second question it would be like, what's your dream? What is it that you want to achieve?
there's a line in Hamilton, and he says, "Legacy. What is a legacy? It's planting seeds in the garden you never get to see." And that's my biggest dream, is to leave a mark here. Wow. And whether that be in education form, school form, but a seed, and allow it to grow and form into whatever it wants to be.
I should have salute you. This is just remarkable.
Yeah.
There's an old Bedouin saying, a very old Arab saying, that says this. I'll translate it to Arabic, to English. A human being with no impact has no life.
Oh, wow.
So it's the same thing.
Yeah, wow, I love that.
And it's up to God or whatever, to decide how big that impact is. It's your job to make an impact.
Absolutely.
Small, big, medium, it don't matter.
I believe in it. So massively, and that's exactly what I want to do.
We are so lucky to have you here,
sure.
not just here at Pulse 95, but I love that kids in the UAE are getting exposure to you. You're raw and you're real and you're incredibly, insanely talented. And so, I did all those performance things when I was little. I did a performing arts degree. I would have paid big money to listen to someone like you. So thank you so much.
I heard the performer in you. I heard it.
I keep it hidden well, don't you think? It's on the down low.
She's great. But people are asking, where can they follow you, Tarinn?
They can follow me on Instagram and Twitter. Instagram, Tarinn_Callender, and Twitter, Tarinn Callender, all one word.
That's it. Dr. Andrew Lee, any last words? You always bless us, man. Thank you so much for your time. And thank you so much for recommending.
It's so great. And just to see Tarinn working with students across the UAE, you can see a real sparkle in their eyes.
Yeah. We see a sparkle in your eyes as well when when Tarinn, performs and just impact a lot of... Yes.
It's true.
Yo, Tarinn, we love you, man. We salute you. We are, we're going to say, bye, but not goodbye. And hopefully we meet soon and cross paths.
For sure.
Keep it real. And I think it's really an honor. I've elevated just by meeting you today.
Oh, thank you.
Seriously,
That
for real.
so much, man. Thank you for having me.
If you liked this episode of Yalla Home, drop a like and subscribe.
95.
Be sure to follow us on Instagram for all our daily updates and top stories.